Hey everybody, it's V, the CPS scholar. Give me a few moments and we'll get into that review of And Just Like That. Coming to you with a different format. I've been under the weather, but I wanted to make sure I brought you guys this review and a recap regardless, because I'm here for you, right? Hoping this video finds you safe and healthy. And I'm going to sit over here and guzzle down tea and take cough drops to get this beautiful show and review to you guys. And with that being said, let me go ahead and be like, DJ, shut down the music. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this review. All right. So the show that we're reviewing is And Just Like That, Season 1, Episode 10, the finale. As I said, I'm the CPS scholar, aka V, and thank you for joining me. Let people know about my channel and my reviews. I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. If you're checking out the picture, as I stated in my previous video for Ready to Love, I actually have the artwork and the hoodie from my homeboy Jay Flew, who is a NAACP nominated animator. He has an amazing animated series on Quelly called Black History Tunes, Peanut Heads to be exact. So I just wanted to shout him out again. The voting has ended. Hopefully you are able to jump in and support that David versus Goliath fight that he has against some other amazing shows, but he is definitely deserving. So with that being said, let me go ahead and grab my notes. And as you can tell, this episode was super suspect and had me looking crazy. Hence the picture on the screen that you see. I was very, very frustrated, and they brought back everything we hated about the previous episodes that we thought they kind of got rid of in the next episodes. They brought it right on back so that they could finish up in the suspect way that they started. So in this And Just Like That, Season 1, Episode 10, the finale called Seeing the Light, Carrie finally finds closure. Miranda is thrown by Che's decisions, and Charlotte plans the perfect coming-of-age they-mitzvah for Rock. All right. So we start off with Che, Carrie, and Jackie discussing their worst breakups on the podcast. I was so happy that they had got rid of this suspect-ass podcast. I know that I'm starting a podcast. I've seen some amazing podcasts on the Black Podcast Support Network, but what they're doing is trash. I don't know any other way to say it. There's nothing excited about it. I suffered through it for the show because I love you guys, but let's keep that moving. So they're at the podcast, and they're talking about their worst breakups. And Jackie says that one lady pretended to have the Rona to break up with him, and that was his worst breakup. And then Che chimes in. I forgot what the heck she said. Who knows? I mean, they said. And then Carrie says, death is the ultimate breakup. And they all agree. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought we was done with this. Carrie, stop bringing up Big and that Peloton. Damn. There is no storyline for Carrie. It's like they're going to keep beating this dead horse, which the dead horse is Big. I'm sorry, Big. You deserve better than this. But they're going to kill this throughout this show. So let's keep it moving. When she gets home, she gets ready for her date with Peter, the lovely, calm teacher. So I guess he did give her another chance to get a third strike, right? Because she gave the best rejection ever, as they said in the previous episode. So while they walk home, Peter admits that he Googled. He said, I checked the Googled. So he's showing his age. He Googled her before they had dinner. Most people Google people just in case. So just in case you're not wondering what Google says about you, you might want to click on there and see. I'm pretty happy about what it says about me. Let me know what it says down in the comments if you have any cool Google stories and what you found out about people via Google before you went out. Either way, he's discovered that she's a best-selling author, and Carrie admits that she Googled him too and found out he was a New York State Teacher of the Year in 2018. So everybody's Googling each other. At the doorstep, Peter asks her to kiss him, and they share a sweet kiss at the bottom of the steps. Peter says that he thinks they did okay for two heartbroken people Remember, they're both it's a widow and a widower, and Carrie agrees before heading inside. She calls Seema, and Seema just got broke off. She looked like she just broke off. She looked happy as hell, skin glowing, smoking a cigarette like she always is. She got a fine man next to her in the bed. So she was loved up in the bed with Zed in a hotel suite and at home. So she said she's been there for 3 days. What I noticed about Seema is, y'all know I love the actress that plays Seema. She is still sexy in her good old age. And I always noticed since I was a young girl that she was effortlessly sexy. Because I remember a scene in Mississippi Masala where she was in with Denzel Washington. And all she was doing was laying in the bed in her room in a button-down shirt, and she made that the sexiest damn thing I had ever seen as a young girl. I definitely wanted to be like her and give off major femininity and sultriness without trying. So she's definitely goals, right? And also she was in Kama Sutra, even though she was the evil princess. I should do both those movies as a review. Let me know in the comments if you would like that. When she was the evil princess, even then, when they were checking in the bed to make sure what was wrong with her, and it was a little freaky, sneaky, she just took over the screen when she was on it. So I'm all for this. She's sexy. She's in her negligee. She get up and she's still working it. So go ahead, Sarita Chowdhury. So Carrie tells her about the kiss she had with Peter and admits it was all right, but nothing special. See, that's what I was talking about in that video. We need that magic. We need a little something. And funny story, one of my friends just posted, do you guys like kissing? Because it says half the country doesn't like kissing, and I was so surprised because I love kissing, especially during a good session. I'm all about kissing. Of course, not with random people. That's when you get sick, and no, that's not why I'm sick. No, I'm just playing. But kissing is everything to me, so I would love to hear what y'all think about kissing. So Carrie hangs up with Seema. Seema going to go get bit down real quick again. And when she tries to go to sleep, the light on her headboard begins to blink on and off, no matter how hard she tries to turn it off. Carrie tells Miranda and Charlotte that she thinks Big is mad at her. But Charlotte tells her that she doesn't think Big would want her to never kiss anyone again. And Miranda and her teeth are so smug and thinks Carrie is ridiculous for thinking Big is in heaven smoking a cigar or thinking there is even a heaven. And in my mind, I'm like, no, what's ridiculous is your dusty gray wig / tracksuit wearing thing you got going on and your relationship with Che. She equates believing in a higher power to believing in the Easter Bunny. And it's so like, I mean, I can believe that the original character did feel this way. I think that's the only thing they stuck to with the original character. Because when they were supposed to do that christening with Steve and Brady, she showed that she felt that way. So I'm gonna give them that. They stuck to the character with that, but she still worked on my nerves. But she tells Carrie that it's just guilt and to get it fixed and get the lamp fixed too. So Miranda is excited because Che has invited her out with her family. And Charlotte's like, great. That shows good progression in the relationship. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you think meeting the family is a natural progression in a relationship? Does it still mean something nowadays? Let me know what you think. I'll definitely get back to you in the comments. So Charlotte is ecstatic that she's found a transgender rabbi for Rock's bat mitzvah, or they-mitzvah is what they're going to call it throughout this thing. So, we always have super duper productive lunches with these ladies, right? At home, Carrie texts Samantha that she's kissed a man, and Samantha tells her it will be the first of many. When Carrie asks if she wants to talk, Samantha tells her soon before Carrie turns the lamp on again. And this is just really working my damn nerves. Okay? They should have just let the Samantha character die of cancer. Because it's weird. It's like a ghost, and it's like, I know a lot of the characters don't really have any personality or growth on this show, but like Samantha's been reduced to a text chain. It's really weird. She was so vibrant, had the most amazing sex scenes. Yeah, she had some problematic ass episodes, like when she was living above the transgender guys and she threw water on them or whatever she did, and they hit her with some eggs. And also when she was dating that black CEO of a record company, And there was a whole bunch of foolishness behind that. So she had problematic stuff, but she also had epic episodes. So that's what made her character well-rounded. And we miss you. To my knowledge, Carrie actually owns Carrie, aka Sarah Jessica Parker, actually owns the character, so she can do whatever she wants with it. But oh my god, it's just terrible. Okay, back to the show. Basic at the lamp store, Carrie asks if it's normal for an old lamp to be blinking on and off. And to me, I'm like, is it normal to get random lamps fixed? I would have just ordered a new one off of Amazon. I was like, this looks like a little Walmart lamp. I don't know why you're going through all this. But I'm sure this is going to be unresolved, like that buzzing she couldn't find in her new apartment. I'm thinking about doing a video talking about all the unresolved storylines they did in this show, like stories that went absolutely nowhere. We don't even know why it happened. I mean, the storytelling and writing on the show is just good and terrible. So, over at Charlotte's place, Anthony brings sourdough challah, which is not considered traditional. So Harry's like, no, we need some old school Jewish stuff. Like, and Anthony's like, okay, we'll do one at each table, one for us and one for the fiddlers on the roof. And I love that play, so I thought it was hilarious. Anthony always brings comedy. So, basically they're at Charlotte's house and they try to talk to the rabbi or whatever, because rabbis have been quitting on them left and right. They found Rabbi Jin, who's a transgender, and she comes in and she basically hurts their feelings. She comes clean to tell them that Rock has not mastered any of the material that they need to know for a traditional bat mitzvah. She basically says, great kid, but knows nothing. Charlotte is devastated because she thought she was studying the whole time. Charlotte refuses to have the bat mitzvah service in English, which is what the rabbi suggested. And Anthony has a talk with Rock. And I'm like, thank God, somebody need to talk to Charlotte's kids, because they get away with way too much. But at least in this episode, we don't have Lily running around screaming and being a biatch. Yeah, I know it's a kid, but she was working my nerves. And like I said, Anthony is the only funny part of the show to me. He goes in there and calls out Rock, who he calls Rockefeller, and says, hey, you're the star of the show. I was a star of the show when I went to theater camp. But they told me that basically in Guys and Dolls that a gay dude can't be a gangster. He had me laughing because he was like, who knew there would be so much homophobia at a theater camp, right? So you get the irony in that. And then they show the rabbi tasting the sour dough challah, and they think it's delicious. So that, at least that came out good. Miranda's on her date with Che, and they take Miranda to meet their grandmother at a hot club where Che performs a spirited rendition of California Girls. And I'm like, once again, Che, aka Jar Jar Binks, comes in ruining the episode. She even says that she doesn't want to subject everybody to her stand-up. And I'm like, thank you. I can't handle another one of her comedy concerts. Apparently, she's the only comedian in the entire And Just Like That universe, and she's not even funny. It's mess. So they also announced that they've been sold a pilot in Hollywood and are heading to California to start producing it, and they're leaving Saturday. This was weird to me. Side note, in the original series, they went to Cali and hated it. She even met Miranda in particular met a dude that lived in Cali who she used to date in New York. And he had lost all this weight, and she hated that nobody smoked. He couldn't eat his food because he was trying to lose weight. So he was chewing the steak and spitting it out just to get the flavor so he wouldn't gain weight, because apparently that's bad in Cali. They hated everything about it. So it's really weird that California would be the focus here. Plus, she mentions that she doesn't even know what a pilot is. And I'm like, so this lady is a senior law firm, intelligent university attending individual, knows everything about being woke, but doesn't know what a pilot is. And then Che was like, oh, they think I'm like Roseanne, except not nowadays, but the good one in the 80s. And I'm like, Che, you are not Roseanne. And they mentioned that they're a narcissist. And I'm like, yes, you are a narcissist. But the best part I thought about that whole scene is that they alluded to the fact that Tony Danza is actually working. So I was happy about that. We all love Tony Danza. Che tells Miranda that they love her and they want her to come to LA with them. Miranda is shell shocked but happy because remember, she's in love. That magic finger has been getting her off for all this time. So she's not giving that damn finger up. She's going to fly on the plane and follow that damn finger. So in the podcast office, Che tells Carrie and Jackie that they're leaving. Jackie invited Carrie to a party on Friday that he forgot to ask her to. And I'm kind of skipping ahead, but it turns out to be a wedding. But it made me think about something. It's like, how did Jackie get engaged to Smoke so fast when in the previous episode you were arguing with the lady in the wheelchair over the breakup and how y'all still had bad blood? None of it makes sense. It's all mess in the end, just like that universe. So just thinking out loud. Miranda visits Professor Naya in her office and tells her she's made a big life decision. She tells Dr. Naya that she's going to finish the semester and take off, basically remotely, and take off to LA to follow Che for a few months. Dr. Naya asked her about an internship that she helped Miranda get into. She said she gave her a glowing recommendation, and this internship is super hard to get into, and tells her she'll miss her. And in my mind, I'm like, why does a senior partner need an internship? But hey, I guess if you start over in your career and you do what you got to do. So Dr. Naya admits that Andre, her husband, has gone on tour and she'll be alone for the next few months. She actually said she had penciled Miranda in for a lot of those nights. So I'm like, oh, it's official. Dr. Naya ain't got no other friends. Just like Seema didn't have any friends until she met Carrie, Dr. Naya didn't have any friends until she met Miranda. Okay, all the people of color. Oh, here we come. All right. So she says she hopes that her being far away from her husband will help them remember what they would be throwing away for a baby that they don't even know or have yet. By the way, people, behind the scenes alert/T. Naya was actually supposed to be Miranda's love interest, but they nixed it and chose Che. So it kind of makes sense why Dr. Naya is saying that she was going to pencil her in for all these nights and stuff. But I much rather prefer to see Naya in that sex scene she had with her husband than I would have with Miranda. But Dr. Naya is definitely better than Che to me. That's my opinion. You like what you like. But I did notice that Dr. Naya had on track pants too. So they must have had like a track pants track suit theme going on with the episode. Then we're back with Carrie. Seema randomly calls Carrie to say she likes club band and they might get into a relationship. She's all dressed in gold to the T, gets into her fancy car. That was the end of her scene. I don't think we see Seema again in this whole episode. So if this is the end of the series, bye Seema, we're going to miss you. So the most developed character of color. All right. Meanwhile, Carrie meets Big's brother. Big's brother, played by James Naughton, he asks where John is. And she looking at him crazy like, because she thinks he has dementia. She's like, he died. So once again, they got to add that the man died in there. I don't know. I don't think she has any other lines. The writers couldn't think of anything else. Then they threw the dementia in there, which is the old people jokes again. I was like, dang, I thought we was done with this. I thought we were done. He's like, no, he's asking Carrie where John's remains are. And Carrie tells him she hasn't decided where to put his ashes. She says he's on a shelf in her closet next to her shoes. And if he knows her well, he knows that's a special place. He tells Carrie that there's a space for John at the family's plot in Connecticut. And there's space for her there as well if she wants it. He reminds her that it's almost been a year since Big died. And he pressures her to make a decision. So now she got to figure out what she's going to do, y'all. She got to figure out what she's going to do. Okay, at the lamp store, she finds out that the lamp just had a broken wire. So they skip through that. She thought it was a ghost, it's a broken wire. At Jackie's party, Carrie's delighted to find out a surprise wedding, like I said. Spoiler alert. Let's talk about the fashions. Jackie is dressed like Willy Wonka / Pennywise the Clown from It with a crazy Michael Jackson blowout. Smoke, his bride, looks like one of those party favor flowers that they used to make out of paper mache that they used in the 80s, but dipped in highlighter ink. But for some reason, she's cute with it. I don't know. Black girl magic. She looked real cute. Natural hair and all. When they're told to kiss, the officiant says, do what gets you the most likes on Instagram. And I'm thinking, like, these people do not know how to write dialogue. It's just really weird. The writers, they need to call me. I'll do something freelance to fix it up for you guys because this is a mess. So Franklin, the fine ass podcast boss, arrives and compliments Carrie on her work on the podcast and offers to produce a solo podcast if she'll give him a shot. It's going to be a call-in show where everyone asks love questions and she answers. I'm not sure people are calling in to podcasts, but I just watched the Queens with Attitude podcast, and they had somebody call in. I guess you could throw a phone number in there and work it out. I don't know. I haven't seen too many where people call in. And like I said, Franklin is fine as hell. I would have talked to him a long time ago. So that night, Carrie asks Big to blink the lamp if he's trying to reach her. And when she lies down, the lamp does blink. In her dreams, Carrie hears Big's favorite song, Hello, it's me again. All that. Excuse my voice. Y'all see, I sound sick as hell, but I'm going to get through this for y'all. And she wakes up and the lamp is on again. At Rock's bat mitzvah, where it's beautiful. It has beautiful colored flowers, rainbow yarmulkes, candy everywhere, lattes. You already know if Charlotte does something, it's gonna be beautiful. That's what I love about Charlotte. Carrie tells Miranda and Charlotte that Big told her he wants to be buried in Paris near their bridge. I wasn't aware they had a bridge. Okay, Miranda and Charlotte agree to go with her. LTW shows up briefly in her rainbow turban, serving a little look, looking like Genie of the Lamp, but slash Eartha Kitt on dang on Boomerang. But Nicole Ari Parker is beautiful, so she did the thing or whatever. Charlotte is dressed like Molly Ringwald from Pretty in Pink in a rumpled pink taffeta dress. Anthony brings the hot guys, and he had me dying laughing because Charlotte was getting all upset. He was like, I know they're not Jewish, but I'm sure they're all cut. So it's cool, y'all. You'll be all right. That part definitely made me laugh. Suddenly, Rock tells Charlotte and Harry that they don't believe in their bat mitzvah. They don't want to attend, and they refuse to join the party. She says she doesn't identify as Jewish, a gender, or even a New Yorker. Oh, my. So if it was me, and now my kid had me spend all that money on the people that you getting your ass up there and doing a they-mitzvah. I went out my way to make it a dang on they-mitzvah, and you still play me like this? Nope, it ain't happening. So Miranda tells Carrie she's going to LA with Che, and Carrie tells her she doesn't need to come to Paris since it would be a 4-hour flight. So they go to they're in the bathroom, and Miranda tells Carrie she's given up her internship to be with Che, and that it's important for her to be there for Che and Carrie. And in my mind, I'm like, Miranda is a piece of work. When Carrie tried to do the same thing with Alexander Petruski, she read her the riot act, even helped Big to go get her to bring her back to New York because she didn't feel. I felt like they were selfish in that scene because they didn't want her to be in Paris away from them. Yeah, they believed in Big, but it was more about them bringing her back. Now Carrie says something, and she's so worried about being judged. She's like, it sounds like judgment to me. In my opinion, nobody is judging her enough. She torpedoed her life. No one said anything. And she's sitting here giving a whole speech about being allowed to change. And Carrie's like, nobody cares if you're allowed to change. Nobody said you couldn't. It's just that you need to make sure you think about everything before you make these crazy choices. What are you going to do? You're going to go there to Cali and be Che's groupie, sit and laugh at jokes all day? It doesn't even make any sense. So I agree. I'm with her. So she could have been in her internship and flying on the weekends and stuff. You didn't have to go out there. Is it that serious for you and that finger to be in the same vicinity? It better be, girl. I don't know. So Rabbi Jen was eavesdropping, and she interrupts their conversation to tell them that their friendship is clearly the most important thing to the both of them, and the women agree. Side note: when Rabbi Jen came out of that stall, I was praying that she washed her hands, and I was like, "Thank God" when she did. But it was funny when she didn't know how to use the hand dryer. That's something I would do. So back to Harry and Charlotte. They're trying to bribe Rock into attending their bat mitzvah. But Rock asks if they can just be them until they decide what they believe in. Charlotte tells Lisa that she's failed as a mom and as a Jew. But Lisa gives her a pep talk, the pep talk she needs, and Charlotte needs to celebrate her own bat mitzvah instead. Rock, Lily, and Harry support her, and the party goes off flawlessly. So basically, Charlotte did the bat mitzvah, so she went from a young Jewish lady to a Jewish woman. So sweet. All right, back to Carrie. Carrie decides to go to Paris on her own. So basically, Miranda messed up Charlotte's trip to Paris. I mean, Charlotte could have rolled. But either way, because I don't think Charlotte has a damn job. I guess Tommy ain't the only one who ain't got no job. But either way, Carrie decides to go to Paris on her own, while Miranda goes with Che. And she's sporting her new haircut with her signature red to LA. I thought that part was really good because Brady is cracking on Miranda and saying, "What happened to your gray pride?" And she was like, "I think I'm allowed to change some things, but I can go back to some other ones." So I guess they got rid of that dusty ass wig she was wearing. So Carrie in a ball gown, back to Carrie, worthy of Sex and the City season 1, scatters Big's ashes into the water from their bridge in Paris. While Todd Rundgren, which is a "Hello, it's me" song, plays in the background. This made no sense. This is a V moment. I'm talking right now. I'm going to make it very clear. This ending made no sense. Big is supposed to represent New York. That was the whole. I think that's even the reason why they called him Big, even though they told us his name was John at the end. Big, as in the Big Apple. Everything in the original show alluded to Carrie and Big's love affair being Carrie's love affair with the city of New York, specifically Manhattan. They went to different boroughs, they went to different states, and nothing was like New York, right? Nothing good actually happened in France except when he went there to find Carrie with Alexander Petrovsky. When they had gotten to that fight, he had smacked Carrie real quick. And didn't Big actually meet Natasha in Europe? He ended up marrying her. Why is this bridge important? Like, I'm so confused. And then, if the brother went out of his way to come ask you, can the ashes be put into the family mausoleum, why didn't you give half the ashes to the brother? Like, why did you take the whole thing? Carrie is so selfish throughout this entire show. It's insane. Last but not least, what in the entire, yes, I'm about to cuss y'all. What in the entire fuck does Carrie have on? She's wearing hot pink dish gloves again. That strong ass bun that makes her look ancient. And a tan colored Glinda the Good Witch dress. Why? Why? It just makes no sense. The whole thing didn't make no sense. And I'm going to talk about how I feel about this whole series at the end of this doggone video. So, while she's on the bridge after she done poured the ashes out of her Paris-shaped purse, Carrie texts Samantha, the ghost of text chain. She's in Paris and asks if she wants to go for a cocktail. Samantha texts her back, "How about tomorrow night?" To which Carrie responds, "Fabulous." Side note, y'all, I blame Fabulous the rapper for me not really knowing how to spell the word fabulous. Every time I see that word, I think Fabolus. So don't judge me. Tell me who's your favorite rapper in the comments. And on top of that, I looked it up. London is over 200 miles away from Paris, but I'm going to leave that alone. Back in the city, Carrie shares her wisdom on love and loss on her very first episode of her podcast, Sex in the City. And she looks so pretty with her hair down in a pretty pink Indian-inspired dress. And in the elevator, she and her hunky podcast boss, Franklin, share a steamy kiss. And just like that, this bullshit is over. Okay, so what do I think about this show? Sorry, y'all. I gotta pop another Halls to get through this foolishness. because this show was hot mess. It was mess. The writing was bad. The acting was suspect, especially Miranda and Charlotte. I don't remember their acting being this damn bad. It just didn't give what it was supposed to give. Period. So, let's talk about a couple things. The black characters were mostly props. People of color are mostly props. People of different diversities, sexes, differently able, people rolling through in wheelchairs, all types of foolishness. They were all props. None of their stories were developed the way they were supposed to be developed, or they were rip-offs of the original story. Like I said, Lisa Todd Wexley, who was all that, she was half the storyline of Charlotte. Then we have Professor Naya. She was the other half of Charlotte with the fertility issues. Then we had Seema. Seema, she had a little bit of a storyline. You were rooting for her a little bit, but that was the Samantha, the replacement. And so on and so forth. And let's not even talk about the men of the show. The men of the show were complete background. We had no justice for Steve. It was just a hot ghetto mess. I'm gonna leave that alone. May talk about it in another video. Miranda faced no consequences. Miranda did all this bullshit, blew up the family, left her job, left her internship, and she get to skip off into her non-binary sunset. And I don't know if they made the story like that because they want to make it seem like there's no issues in non-binary situations. I don't know. And make it okay because it's a woman that she's allowed to cheat and skip off and not have no consequences. Because if it would have been a man that tore up their family like that, everything, it would have been hell to pay, especially on a female centered show. Samantha, at least Kim Cattrall, is never coming back. Samantha, aka Kim Cattrall, said she would never step foot back. Recently, there was an article where Carrie, aka Sarah Jessica Parker, was like, they never asked her to come back. They would never bring her back. It's not going to happen. So she's going to try to flip it on, make it seem like she the one who didn't want Kim Cattrall to come back when Kim Cattrall been told her to kick rocks. So that's some other bullshit that's happening in the background. Also, I miss when the side characters used to be fun. Side characters used to be quirky ways to move the story along. Here, they were just random. They didn't make any sense. Their actions didn't make any sense. They switched up all over the place. I don't know if it's because of Samantha Irby. I mean, the bodily functions were more of a side character than like when people were puking in their periods and all types of bullshit like that, or peeing in a bottle was more of a side character than the actual people in the show. It made no sense. Think of the random gay couple where they tried to fight the black couple because they almost ran them and their baby over. Like, I'm a toddler was the main thing that man said. It went absolutely nowhere. Okay. Next. Carrie has no storyline and is completely unlikable. Oh my gosh, I forgot another side character. What the hell happened to Lisette, the neighbor, the fake Carrie? Her boyfriend dumped her. She gave her the jewelry to go on her social media with, and then she just damn disappeared. What happened? Like, it doesn't make any sense. None. Okay, Carrie has no storyline. She spent most of the episodes dating a dude she didn't want to date, living her life through Seema, saying that Big was dead. The biggest thing was Big dying on that Peloton and her not saving him. Getting surgery. Being on that podcast that wasn't no real damn podcast. But she was pretty much a side character to Cynthia Nixon, which I believe they had to do it that way to get Cynthia Nixon, a.k.a. Miranda, to come back. So she had no damn storyline other than Big dying. That's it. Last but not least, I pray that there is no season 2. That was some pure fuckery and bullshit. Yes, I'm cussing on here. Pure fuckery and bullshit. They really did a disservice to the original show. If they were going to do a reboot, they should have really tried to get Candace Bushnell to come back because Michael Patrick King he just didn't see the vision. And Sarah Jessica Parker and them chicks just was on a cash grab. I'm happy that they gave the people of color some actual acting work, but they did not do well with any of those characters. But like I said, I pray there's no season 2. But if there is, I'll suffer watch because I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And thank you so much for actually listening to me rant about this show. With that being said, I love you guys. Stay safe and come back. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you hate it, comment, let me know. It helps the algorithm. If you hate it, thumbs down. Whatever you like. It's your world. I'm here for you guys. So with that being said, love you guys and CPS Scholar out. Let me go drink this tea, y'all. Bye.